shut up for a minute? We gotta get you the fuck out of Dodge, man. We're going to Vegas tonight.
What are you talking about, Vegas?
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Hey, welcome back, craps enthusiasts. It's a Saturday, and the house is cleaned, and I'm bored out of my skull. So instead of turning on the TV, I figured I'd sit down and share my hobby with you guys. What I'm going to do to start off, unfortunately, is this is take 2. And the reason why is I had problems with my recording. I guess my microphone wasn't working or something like that, and I could not download the file. So I'm up a little bit of money, and again, this is take 2. We're going to start off like I did before, just as my theory, to get a mental picture of where the table RNG pattern is at this time. And the reason why is a lot of times when we walk up to a table, we'll ask, hey, how are things going? Or you can stand back and watch people cheering, which is an indicator that it's on the right side of the table. Or if you're looking over at a table and everybody's kind of glum and bummed out, you can get a good indication that it's kind of cold. And in a situation like that, I would normally play a pretty stable don't strategy, or I'll throw on my Darth Vader helmet and play the dark side. Anyway, I'm going to start off with clearing my cache once again. I'm going to go on down here to settings. I'm going to hit the privacy security. I'm going to go to clear. Yeah, so I can definitely tell that it is keeping cookies on my site because this was cleared previously, and it now appears. So I'm going to actually clear the data, and I'm going to check to see if that data is still there. So yeah, there we go. It's cleared out. No big deal. Life is good. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to pop up my screen, and I'm going to roll it a few times like I did last time. It's just a theory I have because, of course, tables can shift at any time. So whether or not this is effective, I don't know. But at least it's a good idea. Why is when I go up to a bubble craps machine, I'm looking at the past history. If I see frequent 7s, then in that situation, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to wait patiently. Okay? Because the table will shift. Generally, I see, if I recall, between maybe 3 or 4 7s perhaps before I get a really long string. And that's just my experience, and it's something I'm still working on because in my mind I tend to notice patterns. So that's kind of the patterns I see, and I'd like to go ahead and test that some more. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll it up a little bit. That's a good number. That's a good number. And there's the 7. So I want to see if this is perhaps continuing. There's the 7. All right. So I'm going to hit it one more time. So here come those 7s and hardware numbers again. And generally it does happen again after a long string. So that's why I kind of discipline myself to walk away after a long string, because a lot of times the dice are in somebody else's hands, and perhaps the dice were in somebody's hands that might have been a successful dice setter. All right. So, and then of course it gets in the average person's hands, and what happened? They get back to I'm going to run it to a 7 one more time. And there's a 7. So we're seeing an increased frequency, just like we did before. Yeah, so that's kind of my thought behind it. I'm going to do it just on this come out roll. Being I had 3 at this point, I'm going to go ahead and place it out right now. I'm just going to go on the 3 thought pattern. Maybe it's 4. I don't know. Come on, give me some good numbers, guys. There are those numbers again. I'm going to clear them all. I'm just going to keep going again. Oh, no, invalid bet. Okay, so how do I do that? How do I do that? Oh, I have to go ahead and roll it out. No, it's not. It froze on me. Ah, that's what happens. Okay, so let me go ahead and get it fired up again. Hang tight. Okay, I went ahead and refreshed it, of course. And the bets are still remaining. So after a couple plays, maybe it does start to put a cookie on your computer. I don't know. I don't know much about computers, but that is just my thought behind it. Is they're probably keeping a cookie on their server or putting an expired link on your server. I don't know. Anyway, I want to keep rolling here because we're still getting those. Okay. None of those would have produced anything. So let's go ahead and start it off again. I am on the 7. I'm going to fire it up here. Still getting those weird numbers. And I'm going to lay them out. I've seen, what, 4? We're just going to roll it out here. Give it a shot. Still that number. And there's a good one. I'm going to repeat it. There's a good one. 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 Place these out again. Wish I remembered how many that was. I think that was 6, perhaps 7. I want to go ahead and clear it because I'm pretty deep in that pattern. Again, the average shooter rolls 7 times before 7 out. So just going on this theory, I am going to set up these bets to prevent that 7 from coming. Again, it really doesn't matter at this low level. Just because, but it is pretty deep within that. I'm just going to roll it out. And repeat it again. Actually, I'm going to bring this to a close. I don't want to kind of push this a little bit. I suppose I could, but, you know, the turtle wins the race. Nah, what the hell? What am I talking about here? Come on now. Let's bring a video. Let's stop with this. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear it all. Oh, I can't do that. But I can do that. I can wait for the 7. And there's the 7. Okay, so was that an intuition? Yes, it was. But then again, I took into consideration the amount of 7s before each 7. Okay, so generally I like going for 7 spins, rolls. There I go again. Just to keep with that average. So if I tend to be on a long string, I'll go ahead and shut it down sometimes. And of course go with that gut feeling. So that kind of saved my butt from that top level. I'm going to set it up again. I'm going to roll that dice. I'm going to stay at that lower level. And I prevented that back-to-back 7 from occurring. And I'm going to roll it again. Okay, that was the point being made. I'm going to clear all. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Getting close to the end of the video. I suppose I can go longer, but generally I see people normally take off at about 4 or 5 minutes. So I wish I could bring it longer, but a lot of people just decide to move along, which is perfectly fine. I enjoy sharing my hobby with you guys. I'm really not in this to make money on YouTube, but if you like this information, you can go and click the bell at the bottom and you can follow along. But again, it comes down to, I think I'm going to keep working on this more, and that is to establish the condition of the RNG at the time, making sure I'm sitting down at a hot table, wait for about 3 or 4 7s, and in this situation, it might be a good idea to just go from 7 to 7 and count. And yes, it can go further on, but if you want to reduce that expectation of that 7 coming after that recovery, you can always do it this way. I don't know if that made sense, but I think you guys know where I'm going from. Is once again, the whole premise behind this stems from the fact that the average shooter only rolls 7 rolls before a 7 out. So if you can stick to that notion, you're probably keeping yourself in the top tier, and that is really helpful when you are at the 1050s level or 1040 level, because you don't want to go out on that top tier, and it does happen. Not frequently, but it's one of those things that you kind of want to avoid. All right. Anyway, with that in mind, you guys have a great day, a better tomorrow, and choked cop, which means best of luck to you guys in Thai. Take it easy.